This is Dr. W. Thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate those who are supporting the channel as it grows. And I appreciate any like or comments. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, and I wanted to think about what is missing from a lot of the conversation, or maybe what's not discussed as much. And I was thinking really about this philosophy of money and work. And a lot of times we jump right into debt payment and making more money. And we really just don't even think about, like, why do we even do this thing called work? What is it exactly, and how do you formulate how you earn money and what it looks like for your future and what it really means? And it really goes back to just how was money discussed and earning money. And when talking about with children, how do you even have that conversation? I know it never happened to me. It was just the idea of working. And so the first thing specifically about this conversation, I'm thinking about five things that I want to talk about with the philosophy of work and earning money. The first thing is, what do you do? Uh, that's what you have to be able to answer the question. And a lot of times it could just be the particular job that you are working and that you're on. And I want you to dig deeper than that, of what is it that drives you every day. And again, not about the particular title, but where is it that you started figuring out your work ethic? Where is it that you started figuring out that I have to do something in order to get something, right? Because as we often say, nothing is free. I've told you in my other videos where I grew up knowing that things cost money, but I never had to pay for things, right? When I got my first apartment, it was, hey, oh, I gotta buy trash bags. It's like, I thought, yeah, trash bags were just there. And so what do you do with your job and your career, and who are you? Now, you don't have to work, right? You could decide to do something else that maybe creates a particular lifestyle, right? Maybe you marry someone with money, or maybe you go and you're living with your parents and everything's being provided for you for some reason. So really this idea of, why do you even exist to work? And the reason why this first thing is so important is because it drives how you earn. And whether the thing you do is uh, focusing on more of a career base, do you have to get a college degree? Is a high school degree enough? Do you have to even go to school? And I want you also to think about, if you know people that you believe have money, do you ask yourself, what is it that they do to earn this particular money? Is it something that you can look and say, I want this kind of house and I want this kind of car. So what is it that makes me that particular kind of money? And I started that conversation with myself a little early, but it just seemed to kind of happen. Maybe it was something that triggered it. Maybe it was a certain clothes that someone was wearing, or the ability for someone to whip out some cash. And I'm like, whoa, look at that cash. I don't know. But that's where I want you to start thinking, what is it that is compelling you to work? And think about this idea of, what do you do? The second thing, as you're thinking about what do you do and how do you earn money, and your philosophy of why you work and why you're okay maybe with not working, or you work a lot, right? The other thing is, you don't have to like it. And this is something that I had to learn. I actually thought one of my first jobs was like working at a summer camp, and then I also worked at like retail. And there was a part of me that thought I had to like it. And let's talk about what that really means. It meant that I had to look forward to going. I had to enjoy it. That it was something that I was like, yay, in the morning that I get to go to work. And maybe it was, oh, while I'm actually at the job earning the money, that it was something that fulfilled me or made me feel good. That I had that kind of thought, right? As I was looking for positions, whether online or through other people, it was like, all right, do I want to work as like a waiter? Do I want to be able to work at a clothing store? Do I want to deliver newspapers? Right? I had to be able to think and this idea of choosing something I thought that I liked. Oddly enough, I really didn't think about the money. I just knew it was going to earn me something, but I didn't think about doing something I didn't enjoy. And so I want to push you to think about that, and in any conversation and putting in the comments of thinking on what is it about what you even do now. What was the thing that got you into it? Was it thinking about how you liked it? Was it about the money? What was it about? Maybe it was all of the above. Very interested in someone who got a job and you're thinking, I actually don't want this job. I don't like this job. I don't want to do this job, but you end up doing it. So that'll be really fascinating to think, right? So what do you do every day? You don't have to like the job, right? Is the second. And I also never thought when I got a job that it was for a long period of time, right? I never thought of working for years at the same kind of job, right? My dad worked 30, 35 years at the same job. Same thing like my stepfather. It was the same job. And I never really took a job thinking that was the actual job I'd be doing all these years. Now, that's different than a little bit of a career, right? You might get into the career of sales or education or engineering or the medical field, and you might do various things in that field, but sometimes it's not always thinking it's forever. And so going into something, as you think about what do, you think about, look, I don't have to like it to do it. Again, this third thing is really reflecting on this aspect that it's not forever. And just if you think about life in the span of life, it ain't really that long, right? It can feel long, but it's not. So uh, I'm thinking about also in my life when I think about promotion and I think about more responsibility, I have to tell myself, all right, I can maybe do anything for 2 to 3 years, right? Going back to I don't think I'll like it. I don't think I like the pressure. Can I do it for a few years and then move along, right? So I think about that when it comes to work and especially when thinking about money. The fourth thing when thinking about work is it doesn't have to fit in this beautiful 9 to 5 example. And so it could be something where you are what they might call an entrepreneur, right? That it might be okay to work 2, 3 hours during the day, and that gets you the certain amount of money that you want, right? What kind of money do you actually want to make, and how much time do you have to get there? And you want to think about that, of course, of just expenses, right? What do you need to get there? I think about this sometimes when you just think about like certain tests. I really was that person where it was like pass or fail. It's like, oh, I can get an A. Yeah, I can get a C. And I know in the comments you might think, well, that's not living to your fullest. It was, yeah, no, this is good enough, right? And it was something that I was okay with because I didn't care about calculus or that world history class. Look, listen. the C is fine. Yeah, you want me to do 10 pages for a paper, but you'll pass me with 6, right? I'm good, right? And then what you can do is put your energy into something else. And so that's why, people who are going on YouTube and making videos and things of that sort, look, that's on your own time. You do that when you want to do it, right? Now, if you have a 9 to 5, you're going to do it some other particular time, right? And also thinking about days, there are some people who, of course, grow up, and I grew up in jobs and careers that you were normally off Saturday and Sunday. And but there are tons of people that are working Saturday and Sunday, and they're working all the time, and they may take some time off here and there, but overtime. So trying to fit things into this Monday through Friday 9 to 5, you don't think you have to do that, and don't think that one job is all there is, and that like it's something extra special that you are working 2 3 jobs, right? That doesn't even have to be about just trying to fast track pay something off. I love it, and I Dave Ramsey, when he talks about, um, there's a great place to go, right, when you are in debt and owe money, and it's work. And it's such a fascinating thing, and that's one of my greatest sayings that he says. So thinking about those particular 4 things, right? That what do you do? You don't have to like it. This idea is not forever. Thinking about this 9 to 5, that it doesn't have to fit in that box. So what's the last thing that I want to talk about? This 5th thing. The 5th thing is this concept, and I'm probably going to do a little bit more time on this on another video, but it's really completely destroying this idea of the word retire. And I don't mean like living your best life now or something, or working forever. That's not what I mean. It's a situation of, and thinking of, well, what does retirement really mean? And I don't know if I'm ever going to like stop working. And that's usually when you get down to the basis of it. It's like I have a particular job and I'm able to stop, and maybe I'm able to get benefits from it, and so I'm retiring from that particular position. I don't know if that's something that I'll ever get into, but what I want to switch and change my mind to is retire to me, and maybe it's the fire, right? That people think about, like, financial independence, retire early, that fire movement, and maybe that's a little bit more that I'm thinking about when I think about retire. But I think I'm always going to have some type of job I'm working, whether it's YouTube, or whether it's my 9 to 5 that I might be doing, or something on the weekend, or some type of side hustle different than what I mentioned. I'm thinking I'm always going to do something like that. But it's more about this frame of mind here, that I want to be able to not worry about having to work. That I have enough money in the bank for my thought of what I need, right? It's different for you, right? But I have enough money in the bank where, all right, I'm not worried about a mortgage, right? Because I ain't gonna have one, right? You got to think in that thought. I'm not worried about a car payment because I don't have one, right? I got my house, I got my car, but I'm not making payments. I'm not living to pay off the credit card. And so what if you, right? I don't know how old you are. Hopefully you could be 15 or 25 or 45 looking at this particular video. But where's the point where you're like, and the sweet spot might be like 30, 35, maybe a little earlier, I'm not sure, but 30, 35, where you're like, yeah, I'm going to this job. I don't have to like it. That's not what it's about, but it is making me some money. And then I have something else that maybe I absolutely enjoy, but I'm just banking money. I'm not worried about this aspect of paycheck to paycheck, and oh my gosh, the interest that is killing me with all these payments that I'm making. And I am retired in the sense that I am living, right? And I'm not just working, right? And so, whether it's living to work or working to live, right, you want to be able to say, where are you? And if your whole life is about the grind and you just have to be all up in it and busy, then you got it, right? But there has to be a situation where the jobs, unless it's something that you have created and produced yourself, and it is something that you want to just live for, working for somebody else and these other jobs, once you're gone, that's it, right? I've worked for years and years in a particular career, and I've seen many people come and go. And you've heard this before, but you really have to have it be something that is ingrained in within you. Is that you don't you matter very little. You matter oh my gosh. And these are just people, right? And I'm part of those people where, oh, somebody here is on Monday and on Tuesday they're not here, and I'm not searching for them. I might say, "Oh, where did Sarah go?" And Sarah left and went to another job, but Sarah was there for 12 years, but she's gone, and it's like poof. Same thing when you die, right? It's just this poof. And so retire, work a job, well, work it for that purpose of you're making that particular money, but what are you doing that is fulfilling you? So definitely, I don't think go to this situation of I'm working 30, 35 years. You really think you're making a difference. You're not making a difference. And that then I get to stop working. And then I get to do all this vacation and stuff. Nah, that you can't do. If that's the definition that you have of retirement, nah. And so this is the digging deeper into the philosophy of money and the work. And I'm going to talk about all the technical things in a lot of my videos, but it really has to start with this idea of what are you doing, and why are you doing it? And really making sure that that is an internal conversation that you're thinking about. So listen, I'm growing. Subscribe, comment, uh, push that like button, and help me out and let me know what you're thinking about these particular topics. All right, I'll see you next time.